So the flash pack's alive and we're about to get right into it. As you can see, I'm coming into this with almost no MT, no regrets, because I just picked up the Vince Carter and he's obviously pretty amazing. So I'm just going to send out the link to a couple of people and we're going to get right directly into this, looking at these cards and what they can do. Obviously they're flash packs, so we expect them to be really good. JR is at PG, which at a glance seems like a disgusting mistake. So we'll start from the bottom with Jimmer Fredette. That is a surprise. Jimmer Fredette, let's go. This dude just drove by the league. He's really, really outstanding college player. So he's super affordable. He's a Ruby. 6'2". Can he play point? He can play point. I expect him to be a great shooter. He has a 95 3 ball, 86 ball handle, 85 speed, which is horrible for a point guard. So, I mean, he's good on offense, but I expect, like in real life, he's going to be unusable on defense. He's a 75 lateral quickness. So, I mean, he's got floor general, which is great. And quick draw range extender. Yeah, to be expected. He's a one-way player. You guys know how I feel about your budget squad point guard is still Markelle Fultz. If you're going for a guard without clamps, that's the best card available in my opinion. I think he's better than Jamal Murray and Devontae Graham. I think Fultz is just unreal good. Jimmer, not a card worth getting, so I expect this card to go really, really, really low. Really soon. Jermaine O'Neal, he's an Evo card. Alright. Amethyst Evo. So we gotta see what he Evo's up to. His 3-point shot is a 68 to start out. But this card all depends on the Evo. So we'll definitely try and get our hands on this card. He's got all of the typical defensive badges. He starts out looking kind of like a little bit of Antonio McDyess. Defensive. What's his athleticism looking like? 75 driving dunk. 90 standing dunk, which is excellent actually. 85 interior D. Excellent rebounding to be expected. And he is a 6'11". Alright. Josh Smith. Already on... Is he on buyout? Across the board? No, there's some buy now. There are some buyouts. Okay, yes, you can buy this card. So people think he's going to basically be Giannis, but he is 2 inches shorter, and he doesn't have max wingspan, so he's not, I highly doubt it'll be Giannis. I mean, he has a slightly better 3-point shot, but if you play Giannis, that 79 might as well be an 89, because Giannis' release is really, really good. They both have an 86 ball handle. J.R. Smith with a 95 block. But again, if you play Giannis, blocking shots is not exactly a problem. So this is one of those things where I think playing the card versus the ratings, he's actually slower than Giannis. That's crazy. It's not crazy. Giannis is probably faster than J.R. Smith. It's just from a card standpoint. It's kind of crazy. Let's see. Now let's look at his badges. So he's got all of the athletic badges. He got gold clamps, which is really good. Super, super good. Yeah, so, I mean, this is a good card. This is a good card. What's that ball control? He's got a 91 speed, which is excellent. And an 86 ball handle. So, I mean, he's Diet Giannis, basically, which makes him a good card. If you're running Giannis and you are running a backup team, this is probably the best card to pair with Giannis. Where's my link at? Yeah, so this is probably the best card to back up Giannis with. I would be very surprised if this card is better than Giannis. That would absolutely shock me. But yeah, he's a strong card, no question. And there's my link. Took a minute. Come on, YouTube. Alrighty. Yeah, so this is Diet Giannis. He needs to be a better shooter because he's slower and he's smaller. But in terms of a 6'9", he's the next fastest defensive 6'9", I believe. right? So this is gonna tide us over until I guess Paul George would be the other one. So I gotta look at this card next to Paul George to see if their dimensions are bigger, because Paul George is it's still a very elite card. He could play the 2 guard. So Josh Smith, I would probably more play at small forward rather than 4. I don't know if I really like him at the 4, because more and more good 4s are coming out, and those 4s are coming out with some really good post up play as well. And let's look at his defense again. His interior defense is only an 82, and he's smaller than Giannis. So this is the overall defensive card in the game. But I'm not super excited about the J.R. Smith because Giannis exists. But it is exciting that there's, at least now Giannis isn't completely alone in the card type that he was. Because before there was no comparison to Giannis. There was just Giannis and that was it. So he's almost like the Hito Turkoglu to Lamar Odom. Like when Hito came out, it's like, okay, we kind of have another Lamar now. Hito's not quite as quick and snappy as Lamar, but he's like probably 95% as good. If not exactly, yeah, about 95%. I would say Josh Smith is probably closer to like, 80% of Giannis. He's definitely. I would be shocked if he's anywhere close to as cheesy as Giannis is. All right, Danny Granger. People are really, really excited about this card. I saw one person on Twitter ask, "Who is Danny Granger?" And that hurt me a little bit. That hurt me a little bit. Danny Granger's an all-star. The Jace move to smooth connection. I saw. What's up, Matt Skizzy? So Danny Granger. Let's see. So he's 6'9", which is great. Speaking of 6'9" cards, he's got an 86 ball control. Ooh, we got Lamar Odom Part 2. Well, Lamar Odom's like 6'10" in this game. He's got a 91 speed at 6'9". So yeah, he's definitely. Let's look at those defensive stats. His rebound is way low, so you definitely can't put him at power forward. You don't want to do that. You're gonna get horsed. So this is definitely a small forward for sure. What's this other position? And he's a shooting guard, so we have another Paul George. Well, this is good news for people who don't have Paul George. I have Paul George, and I love Paul George. Again, I don't particularly care about this character because you can only, put one of them in a 2-guard once. But yeah, I'll definitely look to get this card. He's very strong. Speed is great. Let's look at his badges. Difficult shot, slippery, relentless, flexible, deadeye. Huh. Alright, well, he doesn't have range extender on Hall of Fame. Chase down clamps, which is great. Chase down's also great. Tireless defender is good. Pickpocket's good. Quick first step is great. Does he have tight handles? He's got gold range extender. He does not have tight handles, which is not a negative for a character of his size. It's just if he did, he would be extra broken. So this is a really good card. Don't get me wrong. He's a really good card, especially because you can put him at shooting guard. He's just Paul George Part 2, in my opinion. I don't see a major difference between him and Paul George. I guess, let me see. I have Paul George right here to compare directly. Actually, there is a major difference. Paul George is a better defender than he is. He's a significantly better defender than he is. Paul George is very slightly slower, but 3 points in this game of speed means absolutely nothing. But 6 points of lateral defense does mean something. Paul has more stamina. He has more vertical. Danny Granger's a little bit faster. Danny Granger has a better block, which is a surprise. Paul George, better perimeter defense, and much better interior defense, which makes him better at the 3. Wow, that Danny Granger interior defense is not super great. So yeah, this Danny Granger card, it's a good card, don't get me wrong. You gotta, obviously, my policy, you gotta look at the animations before we can judge. Matt Skizzy's asking if Paul is a better finisher. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, Paul has a 97 driving dunk and a 55 standing dunk. Danny Granger has a 40 standing dunk and an 80 driving dunk. 80 is good. It's good enough to get some decent animations, but obviously it's no 97. At 97, Paul George probably has all of the contact dunks. What up, Spac? And at 80, Danny Granger cannot get contact dunks, which is significant for a small forward. But yeah, I will say Danny Granger is at worst the second best big shooting guard you can get, since he's the only other big shooting guard you can get in terms of being over 6'8". No, I don't think Danny Granger was a more athletic. It depends on when you're talking about. But no, Danny Granger wasn't more athletic than peak Paul George. Peak Paul George was a monster. Like before he broke his leg. I mean, Paul George is still really athletic, but before he broke his leg, Paul George was out there. He was wild. He was as pretty much as good as they come. Outside of the speed, like he wasn't as fast as like the fastest guys, but in terms of jumping ability and agility, Paul George was absolutely. Oh, PG, yeah, yeah, PG, and PG is more athletic. So, I mean, he's not as fast, which is again probably accurate. I mean, Danny Granger, he was another one who was held back by some injuries. So it depends on which Danny Granger you're talking about. But yeah, they pretty much got it right. I wouldn't say Granger was a better shooter than Paul George. Paul George is an amazing shooter. Danny Granger was a good shooter too. He just wasn't good of a shooter as Paul George, but it's fine. It's 2K. It is what it is. And then finally, Pink Diamond, Larry Bird. So another 6'9". So let's go to those metrics first. To be expected, he has a 97 three ball, which is probably a 99 with your coach and your, your floor general. So he has a 99 three ball. If you're running anything that makes any kind of sense, and if you're grabbing pink diamonds, you're probably, uh, you're probably running with a good coach and all that stuff. So we got Larry Legend. He's got a 93 perimeter defense. Whoa. Wow. He's got an 84 interior defense and 85 speed, which is good for Larry. That's definitely generous for Larry. Um, Larry he was solid with the ball running the floor, but yeah, he definitely wasn't the fastest guy on the court. Um, yeah, I mean, he looks excellent so far. He's got a 95 lateral quickness. This guy should have been in the New Year's resolution packs. Oh man. But yeah, 6'9". And Larry's a big 6'9" too. Like if you look at him in real life, he looks taller than Magic, who's also listed as 6'9". So he's got every good shooting badge in the book, and he's got them on Hall of Fame, which is excellent. He's got Hall of Fame clamps. Wow. So we're just in the mode of where 2K is like, all right, it's just time for fantasy land power creep because J.R. Smith is playing point guard, which we're gonna revisit. We're gonna go back to J.R. Smith and talk about that. So he's got a whole bunch of good finishing badges. Actually, I didn't look at Larry's dunk. What's his dunk at? This is gonna hurt my feelings if his dunk is too high. He's got a 75 driving dunk. Okay, that's fair. And an 86 ball handle. All right. Yeah, they're putting anything on anybody at this point. Anthony Diaz says he's trying to sell Diamond Martin for 80K. Yeah, that Kenya Martin card is really, really good, man. That's a really strong card. Like, you talk about a 3-and-D card that's an excellent finisher. That card is ridiculous. Does Larry have quick first step? That's an excellent question. Let's see. Yes, he does. He has gold quick first step. You know how Larry do. Larry's going to be behind the back and people. Which here they might be patching. We'll see how that turns out. I hope they give it a stamina patch and not a movement patch. So yeah, I mean Larry looks excellent. I have to play with the card to see, but my main thing, I mean, he's excellent defensively. It's just again he's listed at power forward, but obviously he can play small forward. So my anticipation for this whole pack overall, yeah, man, Larry's quick, man. You gotta watch the footage, man. You youngins don't know, man. Larry was fast, boy. You know, he was the first flash. Larry Bird, look at the card art, man. He's gonna yank you. Larry gonna be yanking you, man. So I have to play with the card. But here's my prediction. I think there's going to be a PG small forward LeBron James card that makes all of this foolishness obsolete. Because that's the hole in the game, right? Like, I mean, there's no hole in small forward because Giannis exists, so it's fine. Giannis is already hitting threes and dunking on everybody. But in terms of a card that's 6'8", 6'9", that can shoot, that can also play the point guard position, that card is waiting out there, and it's LeBron James, who's actually playing point guard right now and does not have... Oh, congrats, back, you pull Bird. Oh my God, I wish I could play on your account to look at the character. Yo, congratulations, man. Congrats on that pull. I would pull packs, but this account is cursed. I don't get anything good on this account. So right now, all of the cards are expensive. The prices are going to be way out of whack. But yeah, I mean, these are all really good cards, except for Jimmy Fredette, who's terrible. We have to see. We have to see the Jermaine O'Neal card, see how that works out. So let's talk about this J.R. Smith, who is. Where's the J.R. Smith? Am I bugging? I thought J.R. Smith was supposed to be in here. Guys, what's going on? Didn't they say J.R. Smith was coming? It wasn't just Josh Smith, right? Isn't it a point guard J.R. Smith supposed to happen? Why isn't he listed here? Am I crazy? I'm gonna look in the auction house. Oh, he's the glitched character. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Well, since I'm here already. We'll look over here. My apologies. Alright, where are the glitched cards at? How do I find that? There we go. Glitched. J.R. Smith. Okay, so he's going for a king's ransom. So if you can snipe him now would be a good time to snipe him. But is he worth what they're asking? Alright, so let's see. So obviously at point guard, it's irrelevant because this guy's here. There's no way he's, worth playing, like, worth that over what Vince is going for, which is 100K roughly. Last I checked, I pulled this guy for 100K. He'll probably drop in price because of this, which is good for people doing the spotlights. But let's look at his stats, his metrics overall. So he's got a 98 three-point shot, which is great. Vince's three-point shot is really fantastic too. He's got a 91 mid-range, a 98 driving dunk. I just feel like a Diamond J.R. Smith having a dunk rating over Vince Carter is just crazy. Just crazy. And J.R. Smith was a phenomenal dunker, but come on, man. Anyway, 96 ball handle. Again, J.R. Smith having a ball handle better than Vince Carter just hurts my feelings. 86 pass accuracy. That's great. So, and this is also, he can play point guard. Like, he needs the boosted passing stats so he can play point guard. Again, it's not that this card can't play shooting guard. He's a good shooting guard. He's a great shooting guard. But there's 15 great shooting guards in the game. So the reason you want this card is so that you can play him at point guard. I'm not repeating that, Matt Skizzy, but that's hilarious. He's got a 98 vertical. Again, he's very, very, very close with Vince Carter. I'm actually glad I have this card for a direct comparison because they are, roughly the same character statistically. It's going to be all about animations. On that end, but he does have Hall of Fame range extender and Hall of Fame quick draw, so he's going to be shooting very, very, very quickly off the dribble. Hall of Fame quick first step, which is a factor. Hall of Fame clamps. He has Intimidator, Lightning Reflexes, Trapper, Pick Dodger. What's his tight handle? He's gold tight handles. So he's definitely the better card overall, for sure. But not. Again, I don't know for how many people that will be an impact, because if you're just rim running and doing the occasional crossover, occasional behind the back catch and shoot, then it's gonna roughly be the same. It's not gonna be a 400,000 MT difference between these two cards. It's more like a 20,000 MT difference between these two cards. But yeah, he looks like a really good card. Somebody told me he had a really bad defensive post rating. Let me take a look at that. So he has a 45 interior defense. This is really, really significant because a lot of people want these bigger guards so that they can guard Ben Simmons. And at a 45, Ben Simmons is going to back you down so fast that you won't even put up enough resistance to bait for help. Like, that's really what it is, right? If you're running like a Sean Livingston or something like that. Do I have Sean in here? I don't think I can look at Sean from here. No, because Sean's a point guard, unfortunately. But if you have a Sean Livingston situation, let's see if I can find Sean real quick. What was Sean in? He wasn't in Moments. What was he in? He was in the New Year's, right? Yeah, he was in the New Year's. Okay, so if you're running a big point guard for the reason that you want to defend Ben Simmons, first of all, Sean is bigger than he is, but his interior defense is a 60. It's 15 points higher, and he's a much bigger character. So he's probably not going to get back down as easily. And again, he's a bigger character, right? Which is another factor. So he's probably going to provide more resistance against Ben Simmons than J.R. Smith is. J.R. Smith is probably going to react a lot more like a smaller guard. So I don't look at it like it's like he's not the antidote to Ben Simmons. That's the key. Now again, running a 6'6" guard with his abilities, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're buying this card because you're like, yeah, I'm going to play him against Ben Simmons, that might be a tough situation when Ben Simmons gets you in the post and just drop steps you and you can't do anything about it. And the other thing about this card, which should be mentioned, is that 88 stamina. That is very, very low. You're going to almost definitely have to sub this card out. That 88 stamina is a serious hit. So, it's you might even need a 3 guard rotation with this card. He's definitely part of a 3 guard rotation. Again, I don't say any of this to say the card is bad. The card is fantastic. He's most likely one of the best cards in the game. I'll judge for sure when I get my hands on the card and see his animations and everything, how quick he animates and stuff like that. Before I shut the stream down, I will do a quick Vince Carter showcase, which I should definitely put in another video. But since you guys are here, why not? But if we go, in fact, let's do it now. If I take you over to Vince, right? Is he on my squad? He is not. Let's get him on there. Alright, so if you look at Vince, Vince has a few key animations that make him really, really worth playing. And when I say worth playing, keep in perspective, there are so many good 2 guards and 3s in this game that each one needs their own little reason, right? So Kobe has some of the best overall animations in the game, including his moving shots and stuff like that. Like Kobe's moving shots are also fantastic. Paul George is 6'9", that's his thing. T-Mac has a little bit better badges than everybody. J.R. Smith has a little bit better badges than everybody. T-Mac's also 6'8". So those are all little things that they have that they bring to the table. Now, while Vince is a superior dunker to most of them, you can see he launches into his dunking animations very quickly, which is great. That's not the main thing, although it is a factor. Vince does also have fancy dunks, which can get you in trouble from time to time, right? So sometimes those may get blocked, and you might want to avoid that. So characters with like simpler tomahawk style dunks are going to be better, but Vince has a nice dunk package. But that's not the thing with Vince that makes him special. Right? Somebody was asking me if Vince is better than Kobe, and I emphatically say no, but that doesn't mean Vince is worse than Kobe. I just think that they both have their reasons to play him, and that's all up to you. Right? So the thing about Vince is he has the quick this quick hezi. Not only does he have this quick hezi, but look at his jump shot out of the hezi. His jump shot out of the hezi is insanely quick, and the green window is really big. So when you're coming off of a screen with Vince Carter, you have this weapon to pull up and shoot, and you have this weapon to do this from really far away too. Like you can hit that shot. You see that? I hit that shot. I'm not even greening yet because I'm streaming and I'm talking to you guys, so I'm not even like looking at his release. But the fact that you can do that quickly on a character that people have to worry about getting dunked on with, that's huge, That's huge that you can pull up like that with this character. And I would say, if I was going to play this character, that's the #1 thing I'm looking to abuse with him from a skill set standpoint. Like, obviously, other things are going to come into the factor. He has the behind the back. He does have a really quick crossover, which is great. He has the insane dunks. He's going to have insane hop steps, but he's not the biggest character in the world. But that's totally okay, because on the perimeter, he's kind of a glitch, On the perimeter, he's kind of silly. So with J.R. Smith, it's like, does he have that? Because if somebody's doing this to you all day, around screens, and you have to drop back because you don't want to get blown by and dunked on. You don't want to get hop stepped, right? So you have to like play this character honestly, and they're doing that to you all day. And J.R. Smith doesn't have animations that are that slick. Then I would not put J.R. Smith above because he has slightly better badges and in some cases slightly better ratings, and I would probably put them equally. And that's why I say I need to play the cards. I don't just look at the numbers and put one card above another card. You know, it all depends on little stuff like this that makes the cards better because they're all very, very close. Quite frankly, if you have a wing that's 6/6 or better, they have gold or better range extender, gold or better clamps, gold or better quick draw, 86 or better ball handle, and a good dribbling package, then it's really up to the animations that they have from their dunk packages, their hezzy, their quickness of their shot. Like Vince's shot is a little slower than Kobe's, in my opinion, but it doesn't matter because of the nature of the shots you're taking. Like it's not slow when you add in that quick hezzy. So you know, and Vince is good at these moving shots. I think Kobe's a little better at it. That is the nature of his game a little bit more, so that makes sense. So you know, I like the Vince Carter card. He could be a keeper card for me. I don't know. I had to sell my Jason Tatum to get him. I do like him better than Jason Tatum, but I did like the fact that Jason Tatum was 6'8", and I could run him and Paul George, and that feels kind of cheesy. But yeah, I could definitely run this Vince Carter. He's one of the most skilled cards I have right now. I highly recommend this card for sure. He's awesome in every way. No complaints about the card whatsoever. And the same thing until I got my hands on the Vince card. That's why I didn't make a video talking about how great he was and he's as good as Kobe and all that other stuff. It's like you got to play the card to see what's special about the card. So like for instance, his size up is trash. Kobe has the best size up in the game. You know, like this slow size up is so slow, just so slow. He does burst out of it really fast, so if people give you space, you can do it. But I don't like that at all. You know, his double crossovers are really bad. You guys might remember we looked at I think it was Kyle Lowry or no, it was Russell Westbrook. His double crossover situation is excellent. Like his size ups are like crazy. Like the size ups he's coming out of and being able to do this stuff. Vince is quick out of the size up, but the size up itself is really slow. So you're not going to be using that for Vince. But Vince does have a nice step back behind the back dribble. You know, his step back behind the back is really smooth. His step back crossover is really smooth. So I like those things about Vince. So every card has their own little things, and I have to see what J.R. Smith's stuff is because there are cards out there whose animations are so bad that they can't compete with cards who have slightly worse stats but way better animations. And that's why Kobe has been at the top for so long because he has the best. Like I mean, not the best, but he's in the conversation with the best animations in the game. Like way up there. Same thing about Westbrook. Like as a slasher, he has the best dunk package in the game. He has the dunk package that all park players use. Check in with the chat real quick. Spac, I would definitely flip that Larry Bird, dude. I would definitely flip that Larry Bird. That Larry Bird is gonna fund your economy for like the rest of the year, and you'll get him again when he gets cheap. Like he's not gonna get cheap, but he's just a tall shooter. Like I mean, he can play defense. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, his Kobe's between the legs retreat dribble is like crazy. So anyway, so that about wraps it up for this. Since we're here, since we're all hanging out, I'll show you guys the squad before I hop off. I should be shutting this down to keep the video short. But why not? Why not hang out on this Friday afternoon? Oh, locker code available. Let's see what you got for me. I am at Emerald to Amethyst still. But you guys can see I'm stacking those tokens. I'm officially at a point where I'm not going to buy any cards I don't like right now, so I'm not messing with that. But let's look at the squad real quick so you guys can see what we're dealing with. Somebody's wrong. There we go. So if I was playing online, this is who I'd be running with. You can see I evoed that DeAndre Jordan. Mahito Turkoglu's evoed. I think this team is just killer. This team is just killer. If I put Morris in, I can run Westbrook at the point, and I just have creators everywhere. I really like this team. Jamal Wilkes is still a really good card. I have to see if these new cards are outclassing him yet. In terms of just like the defensive aspect of it, because Jamal Wilkes is a really good defender. He's a made defender. He's not a defender where they just turn the numbers up. And sometimes that makes a big difference. So he has a 78 interior defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's probably a way better defender than J.R. Smith. Just overall, you know? Like, and I have this shoe that I could put on him if I wanted to be crazy and give him more ball handle and more speed with the ball to guarantee that he's always speed boosting. So I'm not saying I'm going to do that. I'm probably going to save that for another card that's on the borderline, but he is a good card to put it on because this turns him into a playmaker. But yeah, so this is a squad right now. Definitely like this team. I like the options that this team gives me. And the main priority for this team is at some point I got to get back to evoing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Outside of that, give you guys a quick look at the evolutions. Kenyon I just started. I'm not really into evolving Kenyon. I do think he's a really, really good card, but I already have Marcus Morris, and I don't feel like going through the effort of evoing Kenyon. I'm going to most likely just sell him back when I get Richard Jefferson. I'm not sure if I'm selling back Vince Carter or Jason Terry because they have such good animations. I'm kind of like, I don't know. Might have to hold on to those cards. I might sell them back just to get in the game for some of these other rewards. Then again, I might open packs for you guys. We'll see. We'll see. How you guys feel about a pack opening? Let me know. So the rest of my evos, Jason Kidd is almost on his second amethyst, as you can see, and I've just been doing his spotlights. I'm like number 9 or 10 or something like that, I think. Lucius Allen is almost done. And the one I really want to get enough for you guys is Jim Jackson. I really want to get into the weeds of how good this Jim Jackson card is. He has a slow release and he doesn't have range extender. So he's not going to be at the top. But he has excellent defensive badges. Excellent ball handling. Excellent speed. He has a 90 speed. People are not talking about this card a whole lot, and I want to talk about this card. I want to yak about this card quite a bit. So, yeah, I definitely want to do that with you guys and get stuck into the weeds on this card because I think this card might be pretty good. And if I get rid of Wilkes, if this guy's as good of a defender as Wilkes, he goes to a 69 interior defense, which is not as good as a 78 if my math is correct. But you got Danny Granger for a 70k snipe and one for 90. Man, I'm so mad. I'm not mad because it's really more for the economy thing. Like, I would just flip that card for auction because he doesn't really fit in my lineup. I'm not getting rid of Paul George. Just for a card that's basically the same. But yeah, I would definitely like to get into that game. To just get into the economy of it, because I do think if you can pull or snipe one of these cards right now, you can get your economy set for the rest of the year. Especially since I don't think they're doing another spotlight for a little while. So the spotlight economy is going to solve itself because you're going to be selling these cards back to yourself. Yeah, you're going to be selling these cards back to the economy if you're doing all of the spotlights, which I may wind up doing because since I've already done Giannis and I'm like, yeah, I'm 10 way. How much do you think he's going to be for? I think he'll probably be for quite a bit. They'll all probably be going for too much. I think they're all overpriced, to be honest with you. I don't think there's any cards in there that I'm like, oh man, I need that card on my squad right now. What else am I going to do? Like, they're good cards, but there are also other good cards in the game that are cheaper that can either compete with or beat those cards. So like that J.R. Smith, I highly doubt he's better than Giannis. I would be shocked if a 6'9 card with generally worse stats and less wingspan is better than Giannis, right? So it's like, why do you need that card? And LeBron James is going to come out, and he's going to obliterate that card. So why do you really need that card? You know. In fact, I'm not even sure if Josh Smith is going to be better than Paul George. Because Paul George has some really nice animations and great stats all around. So, you know, people are excited about these packs, and they should be because they're good cards, but they're going to be too excited, and that's going to put the yo, put on Super Chat donation. I don't know if I can put on Super Chat on the @MeBro channel yet. I don't think we have enough subscribers yet. I don't even know how that works. Honestly, I got to look into how that works, but I definitely appreciate that very much so. And we'll obviously be looking to progress the channel and keep it going and keep the info going and keep the discussion going, because I do think that there's some room in the MyTeam community for a bit more in-depth discussion about the cards. A lot of the guys in the MyTeam community aren't Park and Pro-Am players, so they don't care about the inner workings of the cards as much as I do, because that's the nature of how you play Park and Pro-Am. You have to care about every single Cash App and put it in the description. All right, man. I'll definitely do that. I'll look into that, because for sure I want to open packs for you guys, but at the same time, it's like to build a team, you don't need to spend your money on this game. So the whole point of opening packs is for entertainment value. So if the channel can pay for its own packs, that would be ideal. Like, and if I needed to buy packs to make a good team, I would buy packs. But the problem is, my team is awesome. I bought almost no packs. Like, I think opening packs really is just for the fun of opening packs. It really is just for the gambling aspect of opening packs. And the one thing about it is, I do, make decent money from my job, but I have to spend a lot of time doing my job. For guys who don't know, if you're new to this channel, I'm a comic book artist. I work for Marvel Comics and DC Comics and all of those companies and stuff like that. So when I'm doing these videos, I am taking time away from actually drawing pages, and pages pay for packs. Making videos doesn't pay for packs. So right now it is a little bit of a choice between making videos and drawing pages and opening packs. But when the videos start paying for themselves a little more, then I'll throw all of that money at the channel and open packs for you guys a lot. Again, just for the fun of it, because I cannot stress enough, if you are playing this game to win and have fun, do not spend your money on packs for those reasons. Spend your money on packs because you like the feeling of pulling a great card, which is a good feeling. It is fun, and that's a fine way to spend your money. What type of comics you drawing? I mean, what Marvel character? I drew Luke Cage for a little while. I did an issue with Spider-Man. I did several covers for Miss Marvel. I did a cover for Green Lanterns. Some Sandman stuff. My own, I did, Top Cow Comics, if you're familiar with them. I did Witchblade and Darkness and all that stuff. A lot of comics, a lot of stuff. Right now, I'm on Marvel's YouTube page. I do a series called Marvel Make Me a Hero. You can see me there every week. They put up a new video every Sunday of me live drawing. Videos of me live drawing the characters, people descriptions and stuff like that. That's my main gig at Marvel right now. You can also find me on Instagram on my main name, NelsonBlakeII.instagram.com. I think it's in the description of the channel. But anyway, but yeah, if you're into like the casino of it, and I know a lot of people who go to the casino and spend money just for the fun of gambling. What's up, Michael P? Orlando Till, what's up? Yeah, that's fun. It's not necessarily my personal kind of fun. I'm not a gambling type, but I do like being a good channel and being entertaining and stuff like that. So I would open packs for the sake of entertainment value. That I do find to be valid, and that is something I would do. So if you guys want to see more of that, let me know if you want to see more of that, and I'll definitely make sure I have the dono situation set up, because obviously the more people donate, the more packs get opened. Because I'm not relying on this channel for income. I really am doing this channel because I like sharing the information. I like my team. Honestly, my team saved 2K for me this year, guys. Park is fun, but Rec is boring again. Like last year, they have to fix the passing lane stuff, because there's only two things that happen basically. Either you play horrible people and you just steamroll them, and by this halftime you're like, oh, I wish these guys would just quit already. Or you are playing a team that knows how to play, and knowing how to play in Rec Center and Pro-Am means dive bombing the point guard and playing the passing lanes, and it's just, and you playing pick and roll all day while everybody hangs out in the corners and cuts. It's just not super fun. Now, to be honest, yo, Matt Skizzy said, I need you to make a Giddy and Truth Chaser Prime knockoff channel and say ball tangibility a lot. Yo, so here's the thing with because I like Giddy and Prime. I do. And I've liked his videos. I've been watching him as long as I've been watching Chris Smooth. And I find him to be funny and all that stuff. My only, and this is not, I shouldn't say beef, because beef is a strong word. In fact, you guys can tell him this. I'll say it on Twitter. I openly invite him to an interview on this channel where we could talk back and forth in a live context, because on Twitter I see like certain subtweeting and like saying this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah. And I think the feeling is if you don't complain about this game all day, if you have any kind of fun with 2K, you're a shill. You're apologizing for all their mistakes and blah blah blah. And you guys know, if y'all watch this channel, if y'all watch Sim Nation has the developer on the show, and I'm telling him, he's a friend of mine, close friend. I'm telling him to his face in front of thousands of people what I dislike about the game, and yet people will still be like, you don't talk about what's wrong with the game. I talk about what's wrong with the game all the time, but I'm not gonna be here to complain about the game. That is not my goal. My goal with video games is A, to have a good time playing the game, and B, enjoy the communities around these games. Like, that's one of the greatest things about 2K. I met Dazar, met Greedy Rashidi, Spac, Amuse, so many great people I met through playing this game. Hanson D. Philly, all a bunch of good guys I met playing this game that I have fun with, you know, almost every weekend. I could rely on going on this game and like having great conversations even outside of the game. I love the community. That's the good part of the community, right? Obviously, every community has its bad parts, but this community has some great people in it. And I'm not looking to access the negative emotions in this community all the time, right? And if I was only playing Rec Center, I would be in that mode, you know, because it's not fun. So I would be, or if I was playing my career, I would definitely be in that mode. Let me tell you something. If I was playing my career, I would literally, I'd be out here like Jack Bill, just like tearing 2K down, because I think my career is an abomination. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to try to have a good time with the game. That is my goal. So if the game does something bad, I'm going to try to move towards what the game does well. I think the game is doing my team well. It's not doing it perfect. There's a bunch of criticisms I have of my team. And in fact, yeah, that's me. That's me, Oriza. Is that, am I saying that right? You got to type out how to pronounce that name. It looks like Oriza. Or is it Oriza? I want to get everybody's names correct. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna gravitate towards the stuff that I enjoy in the game. So I play as little my career as possible now, because it's not an enjoyable mode. Especially if you start a new character on the wrong team. You can't control freelancers, and they have that 3-out active. They just sit in the paint. It's a nightmare. He said Play Now Online is where it's at. Yo, Maskizzy, I'm gonna definitely be playing some Play Now Online. Once after I start playing MyTeam Unlimited, I definitely want to play Now Online, because I want to compare what it's like to not be in an environment of overpowered players all over the place. And that's something that we should probably address here, right? That's what I was gonna say. And so anyway, to close out the point about Gideon Prime, I'm down to talk with Gideon Prime at any time. I'm down to discuss what's wrong with the game at any time. But I am not gonna spend all my time talking about the game, talking bad about the game. This game is massive, right? Like, nothing shows me how big this game is more than this screen right here. Because most park players think nobody plays MyTeam. They think there's a few whales out there spending money on packs and that nobody plays this game. Yet here is this search algorithm for every feasible item in the game, that as soon as a new theme comes up, they have the theme here so that you can filter out by all these things. Y'all know somebody's getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to do that, right? Like, that's an entire group of people. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, guys. I gotta take this. I apologize very much. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm gonna gravitate towards the stuff that I enjoy, and this game is so big that there is stuff to enjoy in the game, and I think what they did in this mode is great. But I am gonna move to a complaint, despite everything I just said. Right now, at this point in the year, a lot of I got the bat to the. You know what? I had the regular ringtone, and everybody in New York has the same ringtone, so I had to switch it up. And I do play blues guitar, so you know. We had to get a little bad to the bone in there, man. We had to do that. So what I love about this game right now is if you look at my teams, there are some balanced, like, even though these cards are a little juiced, like everything's a little exaggerated, it's not completely over the top, right? Like Kyle Lowry's power is defense and shooting. That's accurate to real life. The Jason Terry card is ridiculous. But Russell Westbrook is still Russell Westbrook. Paul George is still Paul George. Hito's pretty juiced. Marcus Morris, according to the week that he had, that's a good moments card. That's not a super duper exaggerated moments card. He shot the lights out. Kareem is Kareem. His power is a sky hook. Giannis is a cheese ball. He is what he is. Even Kenyon Martin, his three is a little high, but it's not too crazy. But once you start doing stuff like giving Larry Bird, 94 perimeter defense, and what did he have? Like a 85, 90 lateral quickness, goal, quick first step. It's like now it starts to not feel like I'm playing with that person anymore, or even that person on their best day, right? Like Marcus Morris Sr. on his best day is a great shooter. So if you give me his best day card, I know that I'm representing that day. But he's never going to be a great ball handler. I don't care what kind of a good day he's having. He ain't putting the ball behind his back and between his legs and dunking on somebody. He just doesn't have the ability to do that. So when you start giving cards the ability to do things that they cannot do at all, that's when, for me, the mode starts to get less fun. And I do think that we're starting to move into that part of the year where 2K is like, okay, in order to actually come out with cards that are desirable, we have to come out with cards that don't make any sense, right? So you're going to start getting slow characters who are fast. We already have non-shooting characters who can't shoot. That's not the problem. The problem is when they start coming out with characters that are too tall. And that's my problem with the J.R. Smith card. So 6'6" point guards who can shoot and dribble and defend are not necessarily common, and they're fast. It's not common through NBA history. Most tall point guards aren't also the fastest point guards or the best shooters and stuff like that. So being a tall point guard in the NBA is an advantage, but it's not so big of an advantage that it's like you always want to have a tall point guard, right? Like even when Penny Hardaway was in the league, it's not like every team in the league was like, oh, I would definitely take Penny first over everybody. He was a great player, but by the time certain other players came out, they were acknowledged to be better guards, even than what he was at his peak, as good as Penny was, right? So height is an advantage, but it doesn't just flat out make you better. Unless, of course, you heal all of the mistakes in Penny's game by being like, well, now he's going to be the best defender in the world. Now he's going to be, the fastest guy. Now he's going to be the best shooter. Well, since tall is already built into who he is as a person, he's going to outclass players who were shorter than him but better than him in certain things. So while Penny Hardaway was never close to as good of a shooter as Kyle Lowry, 2K can always just turn Penny Hardaway's shot up to 99 and be like, yeah, well, it's my team. But they're never going to make Kyle Lowry 6'7" because that would be ridiculous. And so the real power creep in this game is height, because the other power creep happens all the time, right? Like they always make cards too fast. They always make cards shoot too well or defend too well or have badges they're not supposed to have. But the real power creep is that J.R. Smith thing. You take a guy who has, I'm not going to say never, ever played point guard, because I'm sure one day, like on the AAU team or when everybody on the Hornets was injured, he played point guard once or something like that. But let's be real. He has never played point guard as a position in the NBA. J.R. Smith is not a point guard. No reasonable coach would ever put him in point guard. It would be an L. But 2K put him in point guard because it's just the time in the year where we have to move on from 6'3" guards. That's just pretty much it. They're just like, all right, it's time to move on from 6'3" guards because we put Ben Simmons out there and we have to start balancing. We play point guard at Pro-Am. We have to start balancing Ben Simmons. And so that's why J.R. Smith is at point guard, and for no other reasons, because it's not like it makes sense. Ben Simmons at point guard makes sense. He plays point guard. That's just something the league got to deal with. It's something you got to deal with. But I'm sure every point guard, when they're like, oh man, Ben Simmons is guarding me tonight, they're like, dang it. I'm not going to enjoy this very much at all. He's 6'10". That's annoying. And I'm going to sag off of him. But let's hope he never gets a jump shot. And then, of course, 2K is going to come along and start giving him a jump shot. Right? So that's my little rant on that. This pack doesn't do it yet. Thank God. I don't think J.R. Smith is so good that he's going to make whatever guard you're using obsolete. If you're playing Stockton or Lowry or Jason Terry or, Derrick Rose, those cards are still going to be great. Baron Davis, those cards are still going to work for you in the style that you're working in. It's not like you're going to be like, oh, if I don't get J.R. Smith, I'm not going to be able to keep up. Luckily, his stamina is pretty low. He has horrible interior defense. So, and depending on his shot and dribble animations, he might actually be worse than those cards in terms of your personal playing style. Right, like, so for me, Jason Terry's a way better shooter than Kyle Lowry, but Kyle Lowry's dribbling fits my dribbling style much more. So I might personally be overall better with Kyle Lowry, whereas with Jason Terry, I have to make sure I'm leaning into the distance that he plays. Otherwise, I'm not getting the benefits of the card. It might be like that with J.R. Smith. You know what I mean? If you're not playing into his strengths, he might not have the animations to outright make him better than, say, Russell Westbrook is at slashing to the rim, because Westbrook is a monster going to the basket. But we're getting to that point. You know, they didn't do it yet, so you don't have to bend over backwards for these packs, but I do think they are obviously very good packs. And if you don't have Paul George, if you don't, for whatever reason, have Giannis Antetokounmpo, definitely go out and get that Josh Smith. Go out and get that Danny Granger. I got feedback coming in on the Larry Bird. I'm definitely going to put the feelers out and see what that Larry Bird card is about, because he's a great, great, great shooter. But we're at the point in the game where almost every card's a great shooter, right? Like, we're at the point in the meta where if you can't shoot and you don't have clamps, you don't get playing time unless you're on a budget squad. And Larry Bird being a pink diamond is clearly not on a budget squad, obviously. So as good as I'm reading the chat. As good as Larry's shooting is, and his defense is really good, and he has good ball handling, I love all of that. But I think the instinct is to see that pink diamond, to see those Hall of Fame badges, and go, this is the best card in the game. He's not. I highly doubt that to be the case. I still think the best card in the game is Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the one card in the game that you have to adjust to, and your adjustment doesn't solve the problem, it just mitigates it, right? Like, Giannis changes who you have to put on your team. Giannis changes how you have to play the game, and it doesn't take any skill to do it. Like, Kareem changes that too, but you need skill to do that. You're not going to come across a bunch of people skyhooking you with Kareem on the ladder, because it takes actually like hours and hours of practice to be able to use Kareem to his full potential. It takes zero time whatsoever to press right trigger and forward with Giannis and hop step. All right, so everybody's going to be doing that. Giannis changes the game. I don't think any of these other cards are game changers to that level, although I do think they are very good cards who are probably slight upgrades to what you already have. Michael P says he doesn't even believe what he's looking at with this J.R. Smith card. Yeah, that's not a representation of J.R. Smith in any reasonable regard. Like, the dunking, I give you yes. The shooting, I give you yes. But J.R. Smith's not the greatest ball handler in the world. He was never the greatest defender. But he did become a solid defender on the Cavs. So, you know, you have that. And he didn't play point guard. That's the main thing for me. Is J.R. Smith, he's not a point guard. He didn't play point guard. He's not a good passer. He's not even an average passer. He's a below average passer. And they gave him above average passing. And just putting a cute word like glitched on it doesn't make it okay. And I think the thing that bothers me about that, guys, like more than anything, is they don't have to do that. That's what bugs me. But he does have puffy eyes. Yeah, he does look a little sleepy. You know what I mean? So they don't have to do that. This mode is good enough that I'm going to get into this in another video called, you know, we're going to cover the improvements of MyTeam. In fact, for everybody watching this, first of all, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. But give me your feedback here, or if you're on the MyTeam Discord, let me know what you think MyTeam could do to improve the game mode. I'm going to pick up Madden and I'm going to play some MUT so I can just see the features of what they do with that mode. I already have the show. I'm going to look at the Diamond Dynasty. I just want to look at the features aspect. I'm going to be coming at it more from the gameplay aspect, because as a guy who for the last 3 years has played a lot of Rec Center and the last 2 years has played a lot of Park, I'm coming from that perspective. I'm coming from the perspective of animations, you know, one-on-one play, mastering a particular character, and the things that they can do to make that stuff special. But there's also just the features and the market
You know what I mean? And the gameplay modes, the offline stuff. So let me know what you guys would like to see improve, and I would love to take that feedback to heart when I make that video and really start getting into what this game mode could do to improve. Because I do think it's better than it's ever been. Just in general, across the board, I do think it's fun. I think the offline is a little monotonous, but only because of the gameplay and because of how grindy it is. Right? And here's the problem. So they want you to do 17 challenges, and they want you to do ridiculous things. So if they want you to get a triple-double, and it's not in a 12-minute game, it has to be cheesy in some kind of way, right? Because it's not realistic to get a triple-double in 20 minutes of basketball play in any reasonable... Can I show Kareem challenge 5 or 4? Just use Evolution Kareem, get 30 points. Kareem, John Michael, and Lucius Allen. And yeah, just win the game. 30 points and win the game. So, unless you're Doncic. Yeah, so, you know, in order to make these challenges interesting, but also have, because all of these were 48-minute games, this would be a nightmare, right? But at the same time, as basketball fans, we're used to certain things like triple-doubles and 25 assists and blah blah blah. So there has to be a give. Like, you can't just make this super fun, most realistic, interesting gameplay and then be like, but you got to score 50 points, right? And then at the same time, the whole 2K like team isn't dedicated to my team, right? So when one guy is like, as soon as a guy gets hot, I'm gonna have him get double teamed, and another guy's like, I'm gonna give you a challenge to score 45 points, those two people aren't in the same room conversing about, hey, how do we make this make sense? Like, literally, Jason Kidd gets 3 assists in a row, they start double teaming him. I score 3 times in a row, they start double teaming. So without that quick through STS, the game is not playing you like a real coach would play you. They're playing you way over aggressively. So you almost need a cheesy way to combat that, because it's not about winning the game. It's about doing this challenge. And if they're going to leave wide open 90 rated shooters with Hall of Fame range extender, you know what I'm saying? They're going to leave them to guard Jason Kidd while I'm supposed to do a scoring challenge. Well, then, yeah, I need a cheese play, because no team would do that. That's why the Golden State Warriors are so tough, because everybody can shoot, so you can't really leave anybody. They don't just decide, oh, we're just going to double Steph and leave Clay open all day. Like, that never happens, but that's how the game plays. So the challenge, you know, the people designing the challenges and the people designing the defense and the people designing the AI aren't all on the same page. Maskizzy says, yeah, I feel like all the work Czar OG put in works at best in the minimum 10-minute quarters, so that those tendencies and percentages line up. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree that a lot of this stuff, and here's the problem, right? This is a mode where, again, if you look at my team, and I'm not even, you know, Captain God Squad. This account is a month old, and I've been pretty busy, and this is still a pretty good team by most people's standards. This is a very good team. I believe this team can beat any team. I don't think there's a team out there that I can't deal with, right? I even have Kareem, once he evos up a little more, he can guard giants, right? So I think pretty much everything is accounted for in this team. And you can't make a sim-based game for these players all on the same squad. This is insane. You know? These guys are just too good to all be on the same team. I mean, you can honestly take 10 of these cards out and just leave Giannis and the rest of the cards, and it's still the greatest team of all time, according to what the cards can do. You know, just give me Giannis, Paul George, and this version of Kyle Lowry, and this version of, you know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and take out the rest of these great players, and it's still insane, right? There's still nothing you can do about it. So it's basically impossible to tune this mode for balance. So what they should be doing is tuning it for fun. That's my opinion. Like, don't tune it for difficulty, because everybody's not going to have the same team. And there's only 2 paths you can take with that, right? You can either make it so that as your team gets better, the game gets harder. The problem with that is then no matter what, I feel like I'm playing the same game. right? Like no matter how good my cards are, the computer's going to give me the same challenge. Then it's not rewarding. Why am I getting new cards? Why wouldn't I just get a budget team and then just play budget team all year, right? So you need to make it feel rewarding. You want to feel overpowered when you're playing an overpowered team. So you could do that, or you just be like, bump the difficulty, just make this fun. What's the most fun way this game can play? We'll acknowledge that people are going to beat it. Take that L as a developer. People are going to beat your game. They're going to be good at your game. They're going to win all of these games. They're going to lose very little. That's already happening, right? So I have not lost a domination game. You know what I'm saying? Like, so 2K, I think they need to redirect these modes to be more fun and keep the challenge where it's appropriate. So my league, my GM, play now online. I would even say my career to a degree. That's where the challenge is appropriate because you're working in a much more sim environment. Park, Rec, and MyTeam are not as sim of an environment because 2K doesn't control all of the factors in those environments, right? Like in a MyTeam game, 2K is controlling most of the game. It's like Madden. You're controlling one guy and 2K is controlling everybody else. So it's totally okay for 2K to say, well, I want this. You know, same thing with my league. 2K is controlling 99% of what happens in my league. You're controlling very little at a time. So it's totally fine for them to say, well, we're balancing it this way. But the less control 2K has over the mode, the less control they should try to exert. Because the more control they try to exert, the more frustrating the game is. And I think that's, yeah, Madden plays you just make minute adjustments. That's what I've been saying for years, man. You know, you are so you are 1/22nd of the players on the field in Madden. Out of the 22 players on the field, you are one of them. So Madden is playing itself. You are just participating. It's not like NBA 2K where even in triple threat, you know, offline, two out of the three players on your team are AI. Okay, you're at least 33% of it, and through off-button controls, you're actually moving them around. So you're controlling at least 50% of what's happening on the court. Madden, you're controlling whatever percentage 1 out of 22 is. Again, I'm an artist, not a math major. Y'all got that. So I just want to, before I get out of here, actually, I don't really have to leave. So if you guys want to see me do something, throw suggestions in there. I may or may not do it. But I'm going to look at the auction house and see what the buyouts are looking like. So Jimmer for Jet, as predicted, is going for absolutely nothing. I want to see if there's anybody else up on buyout. Yeah, I do think my team up will be awesome. That would be awesome. And there's a way that could be really easy to monetize too. Because in this game, if I'm like, I want to do team up with my friend, and it's gonna be like my career where he controls one player, that's not bad for Jermaine O'Neal. That's not bad at all. If I had any MT whatsoever, I would pick him up. Let me see. Let's see what his minimum is. Yeah, fortunately, I came into this without an EMT, guys, so. Ooh, he's low. Okay. Uh-oh. How low can we go? Uh-oh. Oh, that hurts. That hurts, fellas. That's the same one. Yeah. Oh, if I would have got that snipe on stream. Look at that. I have just enough, just barely not enough money. Okay. So I'm going to try and buy this Jermaine O'Neal. What can I do to get some quick MT? All right. Let's see. Since he was going for that much, I'm not paying more than that for him. Boom, boom. Maximum bid. $6K. I put bid. I got dummy. Maximum buyout. I'll refresh this a few times. If I don't get them in a couple of minutes, then I'll duck out, earn some MT, and pick them up for 7. I don't want to hastily sell any good cards just to grab them. So Matt Skizzy says, I want to see you play 5v5, see how I play 5v5 at one point. So here's the thing with me in 5v5. So I've been very busy, like post-holidays with work. I was finishing up a comic book issue. And my 2K time has to be, I have to decide how I want to do it, right? So the number one thing I wanted to do was cover these cards and make videos for you guys. So to cover the most cards possible, I had to put myself in a position to actually acquire and play those cards. And I also had to build up a team for when I do play 5v5, right? So for me, the way I approach 5v5, so I'm a competitive fighting game player. I'm not a great competitive fighting game player, but I am better than 99% of the people who play fighting games, right? So at least in the games that I'm good at. So I'm a tournament level player in Marvel vs. Capcom. And not a great tournament level player, but I'll go to a tournament and I'll win a couple of games against people who really know how to play. And if I'm lucky, I'll beat somebody who's really, really good, right? I have to be lucky because they're better than me, but I'm good enough to beat somebody who's better than me, and that person is good enough to place top 8 at a tournament. So that's how good I am at that game. So when I approach this game, I do not approach this game the way Brian approaches this game. Brian puts a paper bag over his head and mashes the controllers with the back of his hand and hopes good things happen for him. And you know, that works for some people. Don't get me wrong. I think that is a strategy, a fun strategy for playing games. You go 500 and blah blah blah. That's not how I personally approach games. I like to actually have faith in my abilities that I can do what I do. And if somebody's better than me, I can say that person put in more time. I don't have any shoes to sell, Doom. Well, I have 2 shoes to sell. Actually, technically, I have 3 shoes to sell. I do have a couple of shoes waiting. So, all right. So I'll show you guys. So, how'd you guys do on the wheel this morning? Well, my wheel was this morning. And on both accounts, I got mad lucky on the wheel. On this account, I got this shoe, which I am totally down with. I'm so seriously considering being a maniac and throwing this on to Keith Van Horn because I'm just really, really curious what a speed boosting Keith Van Horn looks like. But yeah, I got that shoe from the wheel, and on my other wheel, I got a diamond contract, so I was pretty happy in both cases. But yeah, man. So it's like when I get into the 5v5, my main thing is I want to break it down and see and like actually try to get good at the mode. I don't want to just go in and be yelling at the computer monitor and hoping good things happen. Like I want to actually find out what makes a good player in this mode, and if I can become at least close to that in a reasonable amount of time. Now I don't know, where that's gonna land. Like I don't know, but I want to explore it like for real. You know what I'm saying? I want to like really get in there and see what that's about. I don't want to just get in there and have a good time online. That's not my goal. If I wanted to go online and have a good time, I'd play Overwatch or Mortal Kombat or Destiny. If I go online to play 5v5 and 2K, it's to break it down and like become a student about it and see what everybody says. Because here's my big question about this mode online is a lot of people who play this mode look at it differently than the people who play Park and Rec Center. Like, the people who play Park and Rec Center look at the game exactly the same way, but the people who play this mode look at it differently. So my question, and this is a question, it's not me saying I know what's up, is that because the people are less skilled? No offense to any of the YouTubers who play, but most of the YouTubers are far less skilled than the YouTubers who play Park. No offense, but it's just, you can see the videos, you know. But is it because they're less skilled, or is it because the cards and the nature of the mode change it so much? I'm curious about that, because people say certain things like, oh my god, how do I defend the behind the back? Like, look, it's annoying in MyTeam, sure, but it's not what it is in Park. In MyTeam, the behind the back is somebody doing the behind the back and forth. That's irritating. Park, that's day one. What you have to worry about in Park is that happening while a human being with Hall of Fame brick wall chases you with a screen. That's the problem in the Park. It's not that they're doing it behind the back. Once you see the ball in the right hand, you figure, all right, well, there's a pretty good chance you're going to the left hand, and there's a little window where I can tell that you're going to the left hand. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, so I'm going to start shading you over here. And I know that there's a time period before you pull up that I'm not in any danger of you. Oh, I hate this game so much. There's like a little delay when I go to press down. Ah. Get out of here, man. Get out of here, you bought card, you. Yeah. Well, Doom, keep in mind, my opinions on cards also comes from TTO, since people play that mode a lot, and I do play TTO online, and nothing about TTO has changed my opinions on the cards at all whatsoever. Yeah, Cam Powell, I missed a Vince Carter for 74K because of that delay. So so Doom, what I would like to do is I would like to start to separate how I talk about cards for TTO and MyTeam Unlimited based on if that's necessary. Based on if that's necessary. I don't know that it's necessary because in Park and Rec Center, there's only a few minor differences amongst the builds. You know what I'm saying? Like between Rec Center and Park. For the most part, the quote-unquote meta is the same between the two modes. So there are a few differences. Like, for instance, Flashy Passer is... I got it. Here we go. There we go. Flashy Passer is more useful in the Park than in the Rec Center. 7'3" bigs are way better in Rec Center than they are in the Park. But the guards are exactly the same. The forwards are exactly the same. And the overall game plan and skill set is almost exactly the same. So, and the other thing is posting up is stronger in the 2v2 and 1v1 courts than it is in the 3v3 and the 5v5 courts. But outside of that, it's the same. So, that might shift with my team. It might be a thing where when I play MyTeam Unlimited, I'm like, oh, this is like a super big deal. But there's also a serious chance that I play it and I'm like, no, it's the same. It's just the way people approach the game. Ooh, okay. So first things first, this is a hefty Evo. Oh, congrats, Doom. He got it for 5.5. Because you need to play third. Well, I shouldn't say it's a hefty Evo. It's a very, very doable Evo to get him to Diamond. But at Diamond, he essentially doesn't change. He's the same exact character from Diamond. Anybody get those? If you see those Diamond requirements or a link to it, please put it in the chat or the Discord, and so I can look it up. But the important thing is he becomes a very good card from the shooting perspective. He becomes a very good 3-and-D shooter. Very good. So let's take him into freestyle and look at his animations. All right. Okay. All right. So we're breaking down Jermaine O'Neal. What could have been without injuries? Jermaine O'Neal carved out a pretty good career for himself. He got injured later in his career. He did all right though. Especially from how he started, man. Playing behind Bonzi Wells and Rasheed Wallace and Zach Randolph? Oof, that's a nightmare. He wasn't getting no playing time. Alright guys, so for everybody who's watching, I am doing a quick breakdown of this Jermaine O'Neal card since it is the overview. We're going to look at his stats. We're going to look at his badges. We're going to look at his animations. Alright, so with your coaching boost, here are the stats. And I do think what I love about doing this right here is it's better to look at these cards with the coaching boost. You know, like who cares about the card without the coaching boost? Because everybody's going to be running a coaching boost. So he can actually already make threes with this 68 3-ball. He can already hit threes, which is good. He's got an excellent mid-range shot, great driving layup, excellent standing dunk, mediocre driving dunk, bad ball handle, great post moves, great post hook, great base face. So it's going to be a really easy card to Evo because he's already a good card. This is a good card. He's got an 85 block, a 73 shot contest, which isn't the greatest in the world. Terrible lateral quickness. Yikes. That's the thing that's going to hold him back. 65 speed, not great, not horrible. He is 6'11". He can play center. Hopefully that goes up. We're going to go back and look at his Evo in a second. But first we'll look at this. 85 strength, which obviously needs to go up. I'm sure it will. So let's look at the animations. First thing, the hot zones. Okay. Oh, I mean, my God, he's a hot zone from everywhere. Let's look at the shot animation. Whoa, that's slow. And I don't think he gets quick draw. It's nice, though. It's slow, but it's nice. Yeah, it's a little slow, but it is nice. And he's a big, so yeah, I'm more forgiving of slower jumpers on bigs. It's funny, it feels slower in the mid-range than it does at 3. That could totally be my imagination, but I see the release window now. Well, there it is. Yeah, really easy release window. He's a gorgeous release. A little later. Yeah, gorgeous release. Alright, let's look at his post hop. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. That's nice. I like that. Post fade's okay. He said he's a small Ewing. Heskey kind of played a little bit like a small Ewing, to be honest with you. But keep in mind, he has 2 Evos after this, so he goes, I think, Pink Diamond from here. So this is just his Amethyst version. His Amethyst version is definitely usable. Only thing I don't like is that jumper's slow, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't get quick draw. Let's compare him real quick to Kenyon. Oh, actually, let's just look at his dribbles, even though he's not going to be dribbling. But sometimes the centers have a little bit with them. Like that's a nice little crossover. There are some big dribbles that are solid, usable. Yeah, he's got a decent between the legs for when he's moving to the basket, avoiding the pincer over here. Avoid the pincer. Go to the basket. Not something you're going to be doing all the time, but not the worst thing in the world. So the real question with him is, can his Evo save him from that slow release? That's the main thing. And the real question is, is he better than Kenyon Martin? Now he is taller than Kenyon Martin. Now this is not an evolved Kmart, which is fair because it's also not a... See, now it says he's taller than Kenyon Martin, but Kenyon has a big character model. Yeah, Kenyon's shot is just too good though. Kenyon's shot is just too good. So that's going to be my verdict for Jermaine O'Neal. Is he's slow release Kenyon Martin is what it looks like. Let's see what his badges are. So great hot zones. Some decent post animations. So he's got gold back down, cross key, gold deep hooks, which is good. Put back boss, which is meh, whatever. Oh, here's a quick tip about put back boss. So if you get a rebound, right? Put back loss lasts so long. Put back boss lasts so long that if you go out here to the paint and shoot a fadeaway, it's still affecting you. So if you're playing triple threat online and somebody's paint camping and you get an offensive rebound, just run out to the paint and shoot a fadeaway, and you should still be benefiting from put back boss, and it's almost 100% going to go in. So that badge, while it's not one of the most important badges in the game by any stretch, if you do have it, feel free to take advantage of it in that situation, because that will be affected by put back boss. You get your rebound, you run out and you do your moving crazy fade, and it's going to be massively boosted by that badge. So just a quick tip on that. Back to Jermaine. Pick and popper, which is great for him because he's going to become a really good three-point shooter, and that's going to make... He has quick draw? What? Guys, did you see that release? There's no way. There's no way. How strong is he? Can he body anybody? Jermaine doesn't start out with a high strength. We're going to look at his Evo and see if his strength gets any better. Post-spin technician, that's really good. He has it in a Hall of Fame. That's excellent. He should be really easy to score with in triple threat. And he has Dream Shake for when people are off-balling you, which is really good. He has gold, brick wall, and box, but he doesn't start out with gold intimidator. He does have gold rebound chaser. So, quick draw on that hairline. Camp Howell, that's dirty. So, just again, for comparison's sake, so Jermaine O'Neal allegedly has quick draw. That's Kenyon Martin's release. And this is Jermaine O'Neal's release with quick draw. It's definitely significantly slower. It's smooth though, and it's roughly on par with what a lot of bigs are doing in Pro-Am. So depending on who's guarding him, again, because he's a big and the person guarding him may be a little slower, especially if you play him at center, which I do think he can be played at center. If he probably should be played at center. I would look at him as a center, not as a power forward. I think he's probably just too slow to be power forward. So I would say he's probably competing with DeAndre Jordan more than most other people. You're looking at him competing with DeAndre Jordan and possibly Bill Russell. So let's go back and look at his Evo, and based on what we know about him, let's see if he's worth it. Matt Skizzy said his release without it must be like Camby or Cartwright slow. I'm inclined to agree, man. That's a really slow looking release, dude. That's disappointing that he has quick draw. I thought for sure he did not have quick draw. All right, so let's look at his Evo. So this first Evo is just rebounding across the board. So it's really this pink. So this Evo is just literally, he basically has one pink diamond Evo. I don't know why he did that, but whatever. So let's look at the improvements he gets. So he becomes an elite post move scorer, which should not be, you should not thumb your nose at that. Now, this is why I think the Kareem card is so important, because if you do Evo that Kareem card, you get a 7-2 version of this who's faster than this guy. And that's the thing, like Kareem makes this guy almost completely obsolete. But let's get into why he's not completely obsolete. So he's a really, really good three ball. Slow, but really, really good. Kareem does not get a really good three ball. He gets a somewhat makeable three ball, right, in the corner. Whereas Jermaine O'Neal can shoot from everywhere. And he's a much, much, much better defender than DeAndre Ayton. He's much taller than Well, he's listed as much taller than Kenyon Martin. He doesn't look much taller than Kenyon Martin. And Kenyon Martin's really athletic. So I'm not sure if the size difference bears out here. His strength goes to a 95. Who wins with him in the post, him or Martin? I shoot with the shot button, Michael P. I would say in the post it's Jermaine. It looks like Jermaine. He's taller. He has really clean animations and mid-range hotspots like everywhere. So I would definitely lean towards Jermaine. He gets elite. So he's an elite defensive card. So he's not a bad card. Yeah, I shoot with the shot button. The main reason is there's no way to make sure that the shot stick releases at the exact same point all the time. Whereas with the shot button, you're going with a more digital release. And in this game, you want to be as digital as possible, right? From your monitor, the refresh rate. If you have a wired control that works well, use that. Don't trust the Bluetooth. Plug your PlayStation in, because 2K has a lot of latency. So you want to combat the latency as much as possible. And I don't want 2K trying to figure out where my analog released at versus the button. So let's see. Although I do think, the analog, you can still shoot just fine with the analog, but I wouldn't recommend it. So he becomes an elite defensive player and an elite mid-range shooter, just besides the fact that he has a slow release, and a very good three-point shooter with a 82 three ball. So that's great. He gets a three-point shot of 82 with a very good, easy to make release. Elite strength and elite everything else. Let's look at his badges. Hall of Fame drop stepper. He gets all the rest of his defensive badges here. Rim protector, intimidator, post move lockdown, which is huge. Back down punisher. Yeah, I mean this is a pretty good card. My main two issues with this card: he has a slow release, and he's slow. That's the main thing. Now Kenyon Martin, I wouldn't play Kenyon Martin as center. So we're kind of talking about different characters here. The comparison here is more for triple threat than MyTeam Unlimited, because in MyTeam Unlimited there's no way I would personally play Kenyon Martin when you could put a bigger, faster center than him at the same spot. But Kenyon Martin is an excellent card because of his ability to do perimeter defense. He's just an outstanding card. I honestly don't know if I'm going to sell this card back. He's just so good. He's basically Pascal Siakam. Yeah, he's pink diamond Pascal Siakam. So I just don't know if I'm going to be able to let go of this Kenyon Martin card. I haven't dedicated myself to evoing him yet because I'm doing the rest of the characters and I'm not in a rush. I don't think the card does anything significantly differently. The big upgrade for him is that he is an adequate post player. So in a mismatch, he can dominate in the post in a mismatch, whereas Pascal Siakam is a horrible post player. So if you don't post spin or post launch, you don't have anything else you can go to. Kenyon Martin has a lot of ability in the post. So Kenyon Martin is probably better than Pascal Siakam, but I have to evolve him to pink diamond level and play with him, because that Pascal Siakam card he's one of those secret source cards, man. He just does things like you just occasionally see him jump from across the entire court to rebound a basketball that other cards with better stats, they just don't do that stuff. Like the Pascal Siakam is just better, and that's why you got to play the cards to really give it a final verdict. But I would more compare him to DeAndre Jordan. Now, DeAndre Jordan doesn't have a real post game, but this, a 6'11" player is not going to play in the post a whole lot, in my opinion. Like when you got DeAndre Ayton out there, who's going to be super duper excellent at it. So if you're not playing in the post, you're wondering, should you go with Jermaine O'Neal or DeAndre Jordan? And I don't know. Time will tell. I got an Evo that Jermaine O'Neal before I'll know for sure, but Jermaine O'Neal has a better release than DeAndre. He has a better three-point rating than DeAndre, but DeAndre is just generally more athletic. He's just a super, super athletic card that's flying all over the place. Whereas Jermaine O'Neal, he looks like his real-life self. He was not the most mobile guy in the world. He was definitely a old-school, 90s big guy, touch around the basket, nice post fade, nice mid-range jumper, block shots, guard the paint. That's Jermaine O'Neal. Somebody in the chat compared him to Patrick Ewing. That's a good comparison. He is very much shorter, I mean, he's probably just short of Patrick Ewing. I think he's like roughly the same speed. For my team, I would probably roll with DeAndre Jordan because I like the athleticism. And the way they're going to be shooting threes, the extra 3-point rating doesn't matter at all, right? Like the 69 3-point rating for me is just as good as the 80 so and so because he's going to be catching it in his hot spot in the corner from a guy with Hall of Fame dimer with floor general on there. They're both going to just be hitting wide open shots. It's just about knowing the release. So yeah. Cam Powell says he can hit behind the back threes with Pascal, and you've gotten chase down blocks on Pink Diamond, Michael Jordan. Yeah, Pascal Siakam, I still think he is. I would call him a top 10 card in the game if you're going by position, right? Like if you're saying, in fact, I would say if you're going by role, right? Like I still don't know if there's a better 3-and-D power forward who can also play small forward in the game than Pascal Siakam. Maybe the Josh Smith will be there. You said Draymond? Now Pascal's taller than Draymond. That's the thing. Like Draymond's good, but Pascal's just way taller than Draymond. He's got like a better wingspan and everything, you know. But yeah, guys, I think that's gonna wrap it up for the stream. I hope that was all worth it for y'all. Just a quick overall review before we get out of here. To look at this flash pack to see if it's worth your time. I would not recommend Jermaine O'Neal. He's not a bad card. I think he's a good card, but I think he's just outclassed by cards that are frankly just faster than him. I think speed is the main thing. The speed of his release and the general speed of his movement. Kenyon's better at the power forward. And DeAndre Jordan is if you're not playing in the post, DeAndre Jordan is probably better at the 3-and-D aspect of it, you know, because of his speed. And then obviously at center, in terms of post players, I think Kareem is the real problem. Like if you're not evoing that Kareem, then maybe you might want to look into this card if you don't have like a post guy that you totally love. Joel Embiid is another one. Joel Embiid's probably, I would say Joel Embiid's way better. I have Joel Embiid on my other account. So Joel Embiid is you know a better card, but he's much more expensive. So if you're looking for a more budget oriented card that you want to evo up, Jermaine O'Neal's pretty good, but he just doesn't get fast enough. Which I don't have a problem with from a you know a sim standpoint because he's not faster than the 65 speed like in real life. I said 3-and-D DeAndre Jordan. Hey man, it is what it is, dude. It's my team. Now, I gotta say it, guys. I want y'all to repeat after me. You chose to play 2K. When 2K does something 2K to you, you chose to play 2K. You knew what it was. You knew what it was. She warned you before you got involved. So when I say 3-and-D DeAndre Jordan, I chose to play 2K. I deserve that. I deserve that. I chose to play 2K. When I get a chase down block from a character that can't block nothing and is way behind me because my layup animation was too slow, I chose this life. I chose to play 2K. Josh Smith. He's a good card. He's a good card. Do I think he's worth 100K? No. I think you'd be better spending that money to get Pink Diamond Giannis if you don't already have him. And if you're, you know, I have to see this card play, to be honest, to fully judge it, obviously. He's got a lot of great things going for him. What really would make this card good is if he's a little broken going to the basket. That's what would make him good. Because if you're talking about 6'9" players who are really good at everything, my guy Paul George, who's not going to pop up here because he's not a power forward technically. But Paul George is your guy, man. Paul George he's really ridiculous. He's really outstanding. And he's a pretty big character model too. Paul George is outrageously good. And all the talk about him being like Giannis, I would not make that comparison. I think Giannis is still the only Giannis, just like in real life. He's probably going to be the only Giannis. He's bigger and faster, and I've never seen a 2K card with the amount of stupidity going to the basket as Giannis. Like, he's just absolutely dumb. Josh Smith has some things that he does better on paper than Giannis, but not enough that I would bend over backwards to get the card. If you get him on the cheap, he's not super pricey. He's at 89K. Is he worth that much? Yeah. He's probably about worth that much. I would more be apt to spend that on a point guard because really, really great point guards are more rare than really great twos. But yeah, he's coming down. He's 75K. Yeah, so we're seeing him for 74K, 69. Okay, you know what? As we scroll down at 65, man, that scares me now. That scares me a little bit because if he's only 60K, he's 60K. With his stats, 59K. He might have something wrong with him. Guys, we got to revisit this card because he's a 50K card now. I see him at 54, 52. So he's going for 50,000. So you can just buy this card outright. He definitely ain't no Giannis if people sell him. That means either they didn't even try him or they're just pulling him a lot and they're underrating him. I mean, Lamar Odom did go down for way less than he was supposed to be. Yo, congrats, Cam Powell. Yeah, I got on both of my accounts, I got diamond packs. I got a diamond contract and a diamond shoe. Very, very happy about that. But yeah, that Josh Smith, I would definitely, before spending a cent on that card, get a look at him, get a look at his animations on a video and stuff, because when cards with those kind of stats go down that low, only two things are possible. Either one, he's just popping out of packs so much that people are just putting him up to get him out there so they can make the MT back real quick, or he's got an animation problem. You know, like Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre should be a god, but his animations are bad. This is Danny Granger. I mean, he's a W, clearly. He's probably slightly worse Paul George. I have to look at his animations to see for sure. But Paul George is a monster. So the prices Danny Granger is going for, I don't think he's on buyout yet. So I would definitely not bid on this card. When I got Paul George for, I think, 100K. And that's one of the best 100Ks I've ever spent. I love the Paul George card. I would not replace the Paul George card with anybody. I think Paul George is just super duper amazing, especially if you know how to dribble. So yeah, so Danny Granger, he's overpriced right now. Josh Smith is either underpriced or secretly bad, because he's going for 50K. And then Larry the Legend, I mean, outstanding shooting, obviously. He's really, really juiced defensively. I'm not going to do that, Jim. Just got Diamond Shy for 45K. Yo, that's a W, man. Congrats. Congrats on that. Yeah, this Larry looks like a W. If you're looking for, again, a 3-and-D, he's got a good ball handle. He's going to be one of the best shooters you can get. I have to look at his animations. He's faster than he's supposed to be, so he might not be too bad. But he's shooting from so far out. He's such elite shooting badges. If he shoots like Jason Terry, that's enough of a reason to play him, quite frankly. Because in this game, if you can legitimately stretch the defense out, like to the logo, to that half-court area, then I think it's worth doing, because it's just another level to your offense that you can do. And I think that makes Jason Terry worth playing, and I think that might make Larry worth playing. Even though Larry is slower than the cards he's going to be compared to in generally. I got good fortunes, man. I'm straight. So this J.R. Smith card is just going for so much, and he can be played at point guard. People think that's going to be super broken, but he has low stamina and horrible interior defense. So my question would be, what is the point of his height? Because he's not posting up other guards. He's not defending in the post. So why do you care that he's 6'6"? That would be my main question. I mean, he's a good card, don't get me wrong, but he's 100 120, 130 maybe. But right now he's going for 500K. He's not worth half a million MT. That's insane. He's not Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons changes the dimensions of the game. This card is not worth this price. So unless you pull this card, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Unless we learn otherwise. Unless we learn he just has all of a sudden the most broken animations and shot release in the world, I wouldn't worry too much about this J.R. Smith card. So it's a good pack. It's not life changing. The card I'm most curious about, I don't know. I don't know if I care about anybody, to be honest with you. I don't care about any of these cards. Nah, Cam, it's not that bad because Ben Simmons, he's like a worse version of Giannis in the sense that, like, if you have Giannis, you almost have to be playing the Giannis game plan. Spac's asking my opinion on PG Devin Booker. I think any point guard without clamps should be a budget point guard. And I think, no exaggeration, Pink Diamond Devin Booker is worse than Markelle Fultz. So if you want to play that, just do the budget version of it. Like, it might be fun. Don't get me wrong. But, hey, David Bogdansky, welcome to the chat. Yeah, no, Danny Granger is nice. I think he's a good card. I just have Paul George already. So, you know, I don't need a second Paul George. Like, I'm good. If I get him, great. But it's not, you know, it's not a life-changing experience for me. And if I got the card right now, I'd definitely put him on bid. I would test his animations first. But Paul George is one of those cards where it's like, until that card comes out and it's a 99 speed, there's not really anything that can be better about Paul George. He has a 97 dunk, one of the best shot releases in the game. Excellent dribble statistics. So, you know, should you sell Simmons? You have Gilbert and D Rose. So I'm going to address what Shah is saying as well as what Cam Powell's saying. Talk about this Ben Simmons real quick. The problem with Ben Simmons is he's an entire game plan, right? So you have to put your team around him. You need all shooters, so you can't play certain big, like you can't play Kareem with Ben Simmons and have as much fun as if you played with DeAndre Ayton. And you have to really, really learn that release because people are definitely going to sag off for you and stuff like that. So it's not that he's a bad card. It's just that the card dictates how you have to play the game. Whereas what I personally like, if you look at my lineups, I can choose how I want to play the game, right? So Giannis is more versatile because he can hit the open three very, very consistently, and he's one of the best defensive cards in the game, right? He's super duper fast, super duper tall, super big, gigantic wingspan. So even though Giannis generally demands more of a play with Giannis, play like Giannis game plan, you don't necessarily have to do it because this Giannis card is not horrible as a role player. Once they gave him quick draw and they raised his three-point shot a little bit and he could hit consistently, I mean, he could just be a better version of Pascal Siakam if you want, right? You can't do that with Diamond Giannis. Diamond Giannis, more like Ben Simmons, you have to play him. Otherwise, you're wasting him. You know, and I feel the same way with Ben Simmons. Like, Ben Simmons, I have to play one way if I use that card, and I don't want to play that way. I don't want to drive into the paint and post up other point guards. That's just, I want to be able to switch it up. You know, I want to be able to say, hey, I'm going to work through Kareem. You know? And so since I'm going to work through Kareem, I'm going to do this right here. And I have an excellent Kareem team now to play with. There's defense, there's clamps on every character, and, you know, I can run that. You know what I mean? So Ben Simmons doesn't allow you to do that, and that's why if you don't want Ben Simmons, I totally understand, because he's an entire team. He's not just one card. So you're saying, should you sell Simmons? Simmons is so expensive right now that I would say, yeah, get the influx of MT, especially if you're looking at other cards. In fact, the reason I would sell Ben Simmons is to build up MT for when point guard LeBron James comes out. If I'm wrong about this, I deeply, deeply apologize. But I seriously think that the Pink Diamond or whatever point guard LeBron James is going to come out, and that's going to be the better version of Ben Simmons. Right? He's going to be faster than Magic. He's going to shoot better than Ben Simmons. He's going to have the crazy LeBron dunking animations. So, and I think it's going to be pretty soon because LeBron, he doesn't have a good card in the game. He's in LA. LA's the number one talked about team in the league right now. And yeah, so you know. Flying Donuts asks, how do I feel about range extender as a badge overall? That's an excellent question. And the answer to that question is actually this man right here, Russell Westbrook. I think range extender should work the way for everybody, the way it works for Russell Westbrook. So Steph, now I don't know if Granger has a good jumper yet. I don't know what Granger's jumper is. I haven't seen that card in action. This is just a basic overview. I like to get deep into the animations card by card. The only card we were able to do that with was Jermaine O'Neal. So Westbrook is amazing. So the thing about Westbrook that's so great is just because he has range extender doesn't mean he's going to be pulling from that range all the time, because he only has an 83 ball, technically a 79, but once you get the boost in there, he's going to be just over an 80. You can get it up to an 88 actually with shoes and coach and floor general, everything. He can go to almost a 93 ball, but he has bronze range extender. The problem is they're giving everybody gold and Hall of Fame range extender. There's not enough silver range extenders. There's not enough bronze range extenders. There's people like Kyle Lowry, who's very capable from Steph range, but not so capable but that he shoots from there all the time. Or Devontae Graham. He can shoot from Steph range, but he's not shooting quick pull-ups from Steph range super consistently. Or take Trae Young, who does shoot from Steph range a lot, but he doesn't make them at a super high clip. He makes them at an average to below average clip. So what you would do with Trae is you give Trae a decent 3 ball, like an 85, but gold range extender, you know. So I think range extender should be for distance, but it shouldn't improve your ability to hit shots, right? So if somebody has a 69 3-point shot, but like take LeBron James. LeBron James shoots from pretty far away, right? LeBron James shoots from really far sometimes. LeBron James deserves gold range extender, but he doesn't deserve more than a 80 3-point shot roughly, right? Something around there. So the thing is, if somebody has a gold range extender and an 83 ball, that range extender it should just be mitigating the effects of shooting from far away. It shouldn't make you exactly the same shooter from far away as you are from toes on the line. You should only get that if you have the 99 3 ball. So if you want to be Steph, you should need a 99 3 ball. You should need Hall of Fame range extender and the animations to allow you to pull up quickly off the dribble. And then as you take away those tools, you start to come farther and farther away from Steph. So like Dame Lillard, again, he shoots from dickhead range, and he shoots it really well from that range. So he deserves to shoot from just as far, but he doesn't deserve the rating, right? So you take his rating down to an 87 3-point rating. And so a guy can take that shot, but you'll say, like Paul George did mistakenly, well, I'm willing to give you that shot. And maybe he beats you, maybe he doesn't. As opposed to Steph, where you're like, well, no, I can't give you that shot. And that's the difference. It's not the difference between whether or not they're able to make that shot. The difference is whether or not you're able to play the percentages on that shot, right? So if you play Giannis, people are going to sometimes play the percentages on you, and they're going to say, have you learned his release? Because I know he doesn't have a 99-3. He has a 79-3. So if you don't know his release, you're going to miss some, and that's going to mitigate the effects of you dunking on me all the time with this character. So I'm going to sag off, and if you miss those shots, that gives me a better chance to win, which is the same thing you would say to a Westbrook, or if Damian Lillard is at, a step inside a half court, you might say that to Dame. Yeah. We'll see if you can make that. If someone's running a Steph card, you're going to be more inclined to do what people do in real life, which is guard him as soon as he crosses the half-court line. So that's my opinion on range extender. Is the problem with range extender is it's also getting the benefit of people with really, really high ratings, and it's also getting the benefit of people with really great animations. And I don't think 2K has quite properly tuned it so that it only mitigates the percentage by which distance hits your shot rating. So say if you have a 93-point rating with no range extender, you're a 90 with your toes on the line, you're a 85 from a step back, you're a 75 from max Hall of Fame range extender range. Now with range extender, those numbers would increase, but they wouldn't completely disappear. So nobody would be a 99 from Hall of Fame range extender. The best you would want to be able to be is like an 89 from Hall of Fame range extender. Ooh, so you're selling the bird and you're not happy about it. Yo, thanks so much, SPAC. Okay, so for future videos, I will be able to review more cards because I have my homie, Spatial Jones, aka Eastwick Baller, aka Let Him Live, Let Him Be Great. he's gonna be helping me out, which is what a lot of streamers do. They don't have all of the cards. They have people who have the cards who let them use their account. So I will be back with more videos reviewing more of these cards. So SPAC, if you're selling that Larry Bird, hold up. Hold up a minute. Let's get deep dive. I need to see that man's dribbles. Did you put him up on auction already? Alright, well, we'll get into it. For now, I'm gonna shut the stream down for now, guys. Check back here for more, more videos. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. On this channel, I don't want to compare myself to other channels, but the main thing is my goal is to get deeper into the cards' abilities in terms of their handles, their animations, their pull-ups, and speak about those differences, because as we get further and further into the year, every card is going to have clamps and range extender and all of the quick draw, all of the good badges and all that stuff. Like, they're going to have all of those things. So what's going to separate them is their animations. They're all going to be fast. They're all going to be able to shoot. They're all going to, have 86 ball control and blah, blah, blah. So what's going to really separate the cards is the animations. And that's where the shooting guards are right now. So, and that's where, that's where we are with the shooting guards. And that's why it's a really good opportunity to compare cards like Vince and Paul George and Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum and T-Mac, because they're all 6'6" or above. They all have basically the same stats and same badges, and what separates the cards is like shot release and stuff like that. So that's what we get into here on this channel. And Orlando Teal, we got it, man. I finished my comic book. I got to start a new one, but this is a good opportunity to really get in there, get you guys in the stream, chat, talk about it, show you the deck, go through all the new cards. And there's a bunch of new people coming in. So thanks to all of the new people for watching. As Mazique would say, God bless and peace. I'll see you guys in the next stream, which shouldn't be too long because I'm pretty sure we're going to get some more of these cards. And I'll also have one for Hakeem and Richard Jefferson when I get those, but I can't promise when that's going to happen.